2 of the last 4 years, they've been National Club of the Year. Who are they? You'll find out coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning with the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on the coastal advertising and marketing professionals, and we're visiting with its president, Fran Tuite.
Hi,
Good
Greg.
morning, Fran.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for coming in. It's a little early.
Thank you. I usually do see the show on mornings.
Thanks for tuning in. Absolutely. I love that tie, Fran. Where'd you get that?
Thank you. I got this in Sydney, Australia. I was on a trip there with the Coastal Ski and Outing Club, our local snow ski club. We went to Australia, and they were having the Olympics, and this is actually the emblem of the 2000 Olympics.
I don't remember that. You said the local ski and outing club went to Sydney, Australia?
True. I was fortunate to be president that year, and a travel agency took all of us to Australia to encourage more club members to go. So it was a good year to volunteer to be president.
Wow, absolutely. When you think about a trip like that, what was that like, Fran?
It was fantastic to see the culture. The jet lag was amazing. A 12-hour flight from Los Angeles just to get to Auckland, New Zealand, another 3 hours to get to Sydney. But to see the bridge at the Opera House, I saw an opera actually debuted that night in the Opera House. I listened to their symphony play.
Wow, that is incredible. You know, a trip like that is so thrilling when you think that local clubs, of course, traveling with others from the area, to be able to live through something like that and be able to share it with each other and with others when you get back must have been incredible.
Yes, I love getting back to the ski club. In fact, we have maybe 25 skiers out of 125 members because it's a pretty good social. A lot of people like what they call après ski, hang around the fireplace and have a drink or two and tell stories of what you did during the day.
Right. I'm sure coastal advertising and marketing professionals have been on a roar recently, Fran. Y'all are just going, I think I saw last year y'all were nationally recognized as the Club of the Year.
Yeah, it's quite an honor, and to all the members who participated and the officers. Last year, Patty Urbana was president, and we just did a comprehensive plan. We did all the areas, and we documented it well. I'm the 21st president of the club, but it's been a good track record of success all 21 years, but the last 5 or 6 years, we says, why don't we just submit the documentation to show what we've been doing and see how it's judged by a neutral source. And they just, 2 of the last 3 years, #1 in America.
That's incredible. We've had a number of your recent past presidents on the show over the last 12 months. Julie Bastian's been with us. Sally Edmondson's been with us. Renee Wickstrom's been with us. It's amazing to see how many area folks that you all have maintained and to see how active they get in other community events. Sally with a breast cancer event, and of course Renee talking about the American Heart Association, and Julie talking about another amazing charitable event in the area. It's incredible how you all have reached out.
The advertising community is very conscious of the fact they have to give back to the community that's made them have a good career. And what treats them well, they go out and help other people less fortunate.
Absolutely. Share with viewers a little about camp, what y'all's mission exactly is and how it got started. You said you're the 21st president. Does that mean this is the 21st year of the club?
That's correct. 21st president. The American Advertising Federation is our parent organization located in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And we are actually a trade association, an industry trade association branch. And what we do is we represent an area of Wilmington to Florence to Myrtle Beach, and people that create ads, sell advertising, want to know what's going on, advertising trends, teachers. We all get together and have meetings and find out what's going on once a month at the Dunes Club.
Right. I think I saw next Thursday, May 19th, is the big event.
That's true. That's the event for May. There's 10 big events a year when we get together. We usually have about 100 people at a meeting. We have a lunch meeting at 12 o'clock. We socialize, and networking is important. People want to know what's going on in the industry, so they get to hobnob and talk to each other. Although they're competitors, they put down the swords for the moment and talk advertising strategies and what's working on a national level.
I think I saw that Richard Delaney, the owner of 2020 Marketing, is coming in. A great opportunity for folks who would potentially want to come in. Would viewers be allowed to come visit, or is it just closed to marketing professionals?
No, our meetings are open to the public, but you must RSVP 4 days in advance. On Monday is our Monday close of business. We kind of get a total, so we give the number of plate counts to the Dunes Club.
Okay. Do we have to be a guest of a member? I mean, would a viewer want to say I'm a guest of Fran Tuite's, or would they want to? I mean, do you have to be a guest of a member, or Could someone just come on their own?
If someone's interested in RSVPs, they can find the number on our website, MBCAMP, C-A-M-P, stands for Coastal Advertising and Marketing Professionals,
Okay.
.com. They'd find the information there, and they'd be allowed to come to the meetings.
Great. Okay. I think I saw the pretty good price there, and the student price was fantastic for area students or for a parent who may be watching now to be able to tell their child about that opportunity to go out. I think it was $10 for a lunch at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club on a Thursday. It'd be spectacular.
Yeah, there's a bit of a distraction. They have a large picture window of the ocean front there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the Dunes Club, it's a marvelous setting, most prestigious setting in town for lunch. And to get an educational speech, about a half-an-hour speech from an industry professional, we put a lot of money into bringing in professionals on a national level to keep us on the cutting edge of technology, to make advertising in Myrtle Beach professionals aware of what's going on.
Oh, yeah. You all have had some absolute cutting-edge folks over the last, I think I joined camp back in '96 and haven't been as involved as I was in the past, but it's amazing to see how active and how strong some of those guest speakers are.
Yes, we've had speakers that are entertaining also. We had a speaker just this month about Harley-Davidson, the history of Harley-Davidson advertising. With Biker Week approaching here, people want to know about that, so it's good that we can inform our membership about that. We've had a speaker speak about advertising directly to minorities and the advantages of that. Mm-hmm. We've had a speaker speak about how they sold Guinness to more South Africans than they did to Europeans.
Is that right?
It was quite a marketing story. Actually, they created this hero character, Michael Power, and they made TV commercials around it, and people looked like Superman drinking their Guinness beer. So people joined in. I want to be like Superman, and they started drinking Guinness beer.
What a great idea. I wonder why no one's copied that in the U.S. I mean, with Bud Light or something, with any numbers of beers or soft drinks. What a great idea.
Yeah. It's creative ad agency business, ad campaigns just crop up on a lot of brainstorming.
Right. How about yourself, Fran? How did you originally get into the advertising business? And are you originally from the area?
Actually, I've relocated from Connecticut. I'm a nutmegger, very proud of the sports background. Once I left, they're having a lot of success. But I originally wanted to be an NFL Films cameraman. And so I looked up the schools that offer radio, TV programs so I could get educated in it. And when I got there, I found out the way to management is through sales. So I became a salesman in New York City and in Charlotte and in Boston. And then I'd saved up enough money and decided I wanted to relocate and be my own boss. And then I relocated to Myrtle Beach, where I bought the After Deck Incorporated with my partnership. And I handle the marketing and advertising aspects of a nightclub here in town.
A very popular nightclub that's been around quite a while.
Thank you. Yes, it's over 22 years, I believe. It used to be called Topaz, and it became the After Deck because it was kind of an after-hours club. Restaurant workers and the people that work in the industry would come there about 11 and 1 o'clock, and they'd stay till 3 or 4 in the morning, just still unwinding. People that work a little later in the day take a little longer to wind down rather than traditional 9-to-5ers that getting up at 7 would be tough. Some might just be going to bed at 7 o'clock.
Sure. So many businesses up and down the Strand, for our viewers in the PD in southeastern North Carolina who may not be in that same mindset of the plethora of businesses here in Horry and parts of Georgetown County that have people working well into the 1, 2 a.m. time period when they're winding down between 2 and 3 or between 2 and 4. It's a reality.
That's true. It's a funny situation. I got a degree in mixology at Horry Georgetown Tech, which is a highfalutin term for bartender.
Yeah.
You're qualified to be bartender. And then I bought a bar where there was such rapid over-the-counter activities, I couldn't keep up with the business myself. I had to hire professional bartenders that were experienced.
I'm sure. What was that like, taking a mixology class and being certified?
It was very interesting. You learn how to measure the drinks, and you learn what the recipes are. Whoever would expect a drink would have a recipe.
Right, yeah, there are.
And then they also teach you the pros and cons of how you can steal or prevent theft if you're an owner, too. So it's taken from a theory and a practical position. Then you get to do a 3-hour shift at a local bar. They give you like an internship for a day.
And of course, with the transition potential in the near future from mini bottles in South Carolina, of course, our viewers in the PD wouldn't necessarily think of that, but the mini bottles, in southeastern North Carolina, the mini bottles in South Carolina, which potentially be shifting to Freeport, that's going to have a big impact on the area, isn't it?
That's true. There'll be a lot of new practices going on. There'll be more showmanship, some different drinks that can be made more reasonable priced because they have multiple liquors in them, whereas before they'd be $8 or $12 if you combine 2 or 3 drinks because you have to add up the price of each mini bottle. Now you can make one price for a drink and use multiple ingredients.
Fran, I think the last time I saw you was at my church as a drummer when you were coming down the aisle with a bagpipe band there. Can you share with viewers a little about your experience with, is it the Low Country Bagpipe Band?
Actually, that was the first band I was in.
Okay.
And we merged together with an existing band in town called Myrtle Beach Regional Pipe Band, because we call on people from Georgetown to Little River and Calabash and into Conway and outreaches out there, because there's not many bagpipers in the area, and I call upon anybody out there who's got experience. We'd love to have you join us.
Yeah.
And what we do is we perform for military services a lot for free. We perform for police and fire ceremonies, for Memorial Day, for Veterans Day. But we also go out to entertain people, like on St. Patrick's Day. People are very, you see my little beard here, the little leprechaun in me comes out and we jump around St. Patrick's Day to events too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and if a viewer was interested or had bagpipe experience, what's the best number to get in touch with you or with somebody within the group? Is there a good number, or would they want to possibly send you a note? Or is there
We happen to have a website for that too.
Oh great.
Just myrtlebeachpipeband.org. Okay. And that has all the information how to catch up to us.
Great. myrtlebeachpipeband.org.
Yes. We had a very successful competition. Actually, you wouldn't know unless you're in a tight circle of Scottish, English, Irish people. They get together and they have what they call Scottish games. They have athletic participation, and they have simultaneously Scottish dance going on and Irish dance, and then they have band competitions and solo bagpipers and pipe and drum competitions. And it's very fun. It's a regional thing going on Saturdays all around the United States, actually, about 30 times. Then they have a North American Championship in Maxville, and that winner, in each category, they have 5 grades of ability. And the winner in each grade goes to Edinburgh, Scotland in late August for the championships of the world.
The World Championships. Wow, with winners here in the area heading over there.
Yes. We were fortunate in our first year of entry in Charleston. We ended up 7th in a field of 15.
Is that right?
So I'm real proud of the leaps and bounds we've made in 8 and 9 years.
Sure. What originally got you interested in being in a bagpipe band, Fran?
Well, when I moved to Myrtle Beach, I heard there was going to be an Irish club forming called the Ancient Order of Hibernians. My grandmother always talked about that when I'd visit my grandma. I says, well, I better look into this, because I really didn't know much about my heritage, and they taught me about Irish heritage. Yeah. So members of that were bagpipe players, and they says, well, we need a drummer for the Low Country Pipers.
Right.
So I became their only piper. And then when this other band came along, we said, well, we can be much better if we combine our forces. So it became the Myrtle Beach Regional Pipe Band.
I think I saw you've been an officer for, is it 9 years now at the Ancient Order of the Hibernians? What exactly is that all about?
Well, we just encourage people to study up on the heritage of Ireland. It's an Irish Catholic organization. And we follow what's going on in the politics of Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, and we pray for peace.
Pray for peace. That's wonderful.
Yes, people don't. There's war going on in Iraq, but there's also aggression going on in Northern Ireland that people don't really realize is going on. We're not gun runners or fundraisers for illegal purposes. What we do, we just remember our heritage and we pray for peaceful settlement of all situations.
Absolutely, Fran. Very important. We got about 10 minutes. It gives us a real opportunity to talk about so many of the activities going on within camp. And of course, you all have the monthly meetings, which are very important with guest speakers. I think you talked about some of those superstar speakers from around the country who come in, not just locals, but from around the country. What are some of the other big activities going on during the year, Fran?
Our calendar year is kind of like the academic year, September through June. And what we do is we get committees. We have about 8 major committees that go forward, and what they do is get a game plan to run a public service campaign, to organize our socials, and to advertise our local competition of the Addy Awards, much like the Grammys. What we do is we schedule everybody to submit entries. This year we had over 550 entries.
Is that right?
And then we bring in some judges from out of town, so they're neutral and they don't know who created any of this stuff or what the advertisers really are. And then they give a neutral, impartial opinion, and then we get together and have a big night where everyone dresses up. throw out the red carpet, get together, then we have a video presentation, a live presentation, and we hand out best in each category in broadcast, in print, in magazine.
Great. Okay. And so of those 550 entries, those entries are coming in. I think you said camp represents here and the PD as well as the Wilmington area.
Right. Our territory, our franchise territory is actually Florence to Myrtle Beach to Wilmington, kind of like a triangle.
Right.
Yes.
Sure. Of the 550 entries, those are coming in from obviously all types of mediums.
Newspaper, print, radio, television.
Outdoor,
Internet also.
Yeah, sure. Outdoor, billboards, I guess.
True, true.
So you've got a heck of a lot of, and the judges are coming in from all over, or those?
This year we had one from Dallas, one from Atlanta, and another, I forget exactly where he was from. But every year it changes, so it's new people facing the situation. And those awards go on to a district. We're a member of a district of Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and those are passed on, again, for national judging, where there's a national convention where they have the National Addy Awards, which will be in Nashville in June this year.
Okay, great, yeah. And so will someone from the local organization be heading to Nashville?
Yes, in fact, 8 will be going.
8?
Yes. We have such a successful club. People want to learn more, and there's some training that goes on, and you make contacts on how to make the club better. And people that have done a good job deserve a pat on the back and deserve to go. And those that are going to do a job in the future, they can do some training and learn what goes on in other clubs also.
Absolutely. What a great opportunity. You've been to many of those in the past, I guess, Fran.
That's true. When we were #1, I went to Miami, and then last year I went to Dallas also.
You went to Dallas last year?
Right.
Of course, that experience of traveling as the #1 club, and I think you said, depending on size, there are a couple of other clubs of the year, but, I mean, you know, with 210 throughout the country, 210 clubs throughout the country, to be recognized as one of those 4 or 5 is an incredible.
Greg, it is very prestigious, and it's credible to our market, because people here that make ads and sell ads, we have to bring people into this town from outside, you know, our coverage area per se. We have to send ads into northern states. We have to send to midwestern states. We have a lot of hotel rooms in Myrtle Beach to fill up.
Sure.
You know, it'd be a shame to have everything built and not be marketed. We've got to tell people, come down to town and spend your money in Myrtle Beach and have a good time, be it restaurants, be it nightclubs, hotels. Enjoy the shore here in Myrtle Beach, and there's many ways to tell it, and we got to persuade them. We have to be on top of the issue.
Absolutely. I think I saw you've been real active in the Myrtle Beach Area Hospitality Association as well, Fran. What are some of the things that got you interested in the Hospitality Association? Was that a good tie-in with your involvement in camp, or?
Yes. It was a good tie-in with the nightclub, in that people look for things to do at night, and you meet the concierges and you deal with the owners of the hotels.
Sure. So that was an easy tie-in. I think I also saw you've been real active in the JCs.
The JCs, it's funny you should bring that up, Greg. I could tell you a story about the JCs. It really stands for Junior Chamber of Commerce,
okay.
JC.
Right.
When I came down from Connecticut, I says, well, I've heard of this old boy network in the South. You know, what is the good old boys? And I figured, well, they must be the people who own the businesses.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is be a junior and understand, like an apprentice, to understand the Chamber of Commerce. So I was in the JCs, and that's really how I got to open doors to meet people on projects the JCs were doing and meet business leaders all over town.
What are some of those, when you think about those projects, and of course that set the stage for your involvement in the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, which I think I saw has been very active.
Yes, that's true. The JCs are basically, they're into individual development, community development, and management development. And the great thing about it is you can do those things and you're not risking your own money.
Right.
You can run a project that way for raise money and charitable fundraising.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. And the Chamber of Commerce, I've been very active in terms of helping the golf committee.
Oh, yeah. I think I also saw, Fran, that you were recognized as a finalist in 1990 and maybe even more recently in 2004 for the Volunteer of the Year Award. Was that the Sun News?
Yes, that's true. Thank you. But I may flatter you and say you are doing a great job in the community for the public service you have done, Greg.
A lot of folks obviously involved in public service, but to see it, Fran, from the recognition from the Sun News was a huge honor.
Thank you. It just turned out I was submitted and qualified to be a finalist, an honor finalist, and I stay constantly busy, and I'm not doing it for the recognition. I've been busy since I moved to Myrtle Beach, meeting people and trying to make things happen, all for the better, because this is just a great community. It's great to live here, and I just want to see it thrive and do well.
Do you still have family in the Northeast, Fran?
I do. I have a sister and her family in Newport, Rhode Island. Her husband's in the service, and I have a brother at the University of Connecticut. He's their play-by-play announcer for the sports, so he's very active, and I keep up with University of Connecticut sports and New England Patriots world champions, yes.
Oh, yeah, congratulations.
I saw it on Fox.
That's right, thank you. Yeah, that was a big game for us this year.
Yes.
Back-to-back with the Daytona 500. What about that experience, of course, for your family? I'm sure loves coming down to visit Fran, Uncle Fran, Brother Fran, otherwise they must love coming down.
A lot of people have a similar feeling to me. You know, this Hotel Fran, when summer breaks out here, just come down and visit. You know, we've got a place to stay, and it's great to have the family down and visit.
Oh, yeah. Do you still yearn at all for possibly being, had you ever thought about pursuing that again, Fran, that idea of being a camera operator for the NFL?
I do sometimes, on Sundays when I'm watching the games.
Right.
I got my little fantasy league, and I pay attention to who's doing well. And actually, in the NFL now, people pay more attention to individual statistics than the team's winning if their team's not doing that well.
Sure.
Fantasy league has got very popular.
What's that all about, Fran? I heard both my brothers talk about fantasy football. What's that about?
Well, it's like a make-believe fantasy world where you make up your own team. You have a draft among your other league members, and you pull members from any team, and you get points based on their statistics, and based on that, you make standings and rankings to see who's in first, who's in second, who's in third.
So you're cherry picking guys from teams both just from the AFC or the NFC or from both conferences.
That's true. It's NFL wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's fascinating. And then you're competing with other folks around in the area or around the country, or?
Personally, we have like a 12-person local league that I compete in because I know who those people are. And we get together on Monday Night Football and we change bars about who's doing well and who isn't over a beer, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Of course, I hear about that all the time and always wondered.
Well, I'm a sports nut. I just follow what's ever going on in the season. You know, when I moved down here, actually, I went to Darlington's fall race, the Southern 500, and I says, well, I could really enjoy moving down here.
Being the owner-operator of a club, and of course with so many of the members of Camp Fran, so many of the members are account executives or local sales managers or selling from multiple different avenues. What's that been like for you as an owner-operator of a club who also has to get out and promote the after deck? What's that been like for you, interfacing with folks who are out trying to grow, let's say, the Sun News, the Myrtle Beach Herald, or the Fox 43?
It's exciting. I've been the buyer of advertising where I was a salesman for 8 or 10 years. All of a sudden, I was on the other side of the table. I was buying and creating advertising. So it was a lot of the faces I've seen before, I've seen as members of camp before. And then I created a theme this year, drumming up business, because I'm a musician. And in the camp, what we do is we hit the drum to start the meetings, and we say, let's go out and drum up business for Myrtle Beach.
Right, absolutely. Well, you're the perfect person for getting out to drum up.
I'm getting excited just talking about it now.
Yeah, I know. Thinking about that, Fran. You know, had you not moved to Myrtle in the late 80s?
Right, it was 87, right after the Red Sox lost to the Mets. I says, I
that.
can't take it anymore. I got to leave Boston. Then I came down here, got a satellite dish so I could watch Roger Clemens pitch for the Red Sox.
That is amazing, Fran. Everything revolves around sports. If you hadn't moved here in 87, where do you think you'd be? What do you think you'd be doing?
I'd be probably living in Boston, following the sports teams. I'm just very tied to that area. My family being there, and just my allegiances haven't changed just because I've picked up and moved to Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a great melting pot of people from everywhere, and I really enjoy living here.
Those are great words. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Fran.
Thank you, Greg. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Fran Tuite coming up next. The 100th AAF Federation annual meeting is this year. Last year, and 2 of the last 4 years, the local ad club has been recognized as the National Club of the Year. Think of that. That's nationally. 2 of the last 4 years. That's a big opportunity. Their website's mbcamp.com. That's mbcamp.com. They got a big luncheon coming up, and a speaker every month Luncheon next Thursday, 11:45 at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club. You can go online at mbcamp.com to put in a reservation. You can be a guest of any number of the members, but you got to go online. Student rates are spectacular. If you got a family member who's a student anywhere locally, they can get that student rate. Check them out online at mbcamp.com. Get out there. You'll enjoy the session.